Hi, Dr. Jerry.
Hi,
Nice to
Andrea.
see you again. I saw you on the Holistic Dental Summit, and I actually started using your toothpaste since then.
How do you
Great
like
product. I
it?
can attest to that. Now, I noticed that you showed a chart in the beginning that showed how tooth relates to organs. Now, the question is, if you have missing teeth, how does that impact your organs? And is there anything that you can do to counteract any adverse effects from the missing teeth?
That's a brilliant question. So
Thank
what
you.
happens when you lose teeth? The importance of those meridians is that the blockage is removed. So if there's disease, let's say you had a tooth removed, but there's still an abscess in the bone, that will negatively affect meridian flow and energy flow to that organ system. So again, it's like the breaker is popped. But if the tooth is removed and the bone is healthy, meridian flow can continue. For example, metal implants, I didn't share this, and I'm glad you pointed this out, is that metal implants, where a tooth was lost and you put a metal implant in, blocks meridians. Ceramic or zirconia implants do not block meridians. So the importance is not whether the tooth is there or not, but whether the meridian flow is blocked by disease or toxicity. You
Okay.
follow?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, doctor. And now we have Lori. Lori, I'm going to unmute you. Okay, we've got you, Lori.
Okay, thank you so much. Oh, this is like absolutely aha, eye-opening of my entire life. And so I'm a little bit emotional about it. The water that I drank in Pennsylvania was fluoridated as a youth. I had amalgam fillings in all of my baby teeth before I was 8 years old. Then those subsequently, as teeth grew in, continued to have dental decay, had a lot of shame related because I was accused of not taking care of my mouth. I used toothpaste, I used mouthwash, I brushed regularly 3 to 5 times a day because I felt so embarrassed. I ended up having 8 teeth pulled and braces put in to close my mouth. I have sleep apnea. I have cardiovascular issues. All of the mercury fillings deteriorated over time. They were subsequently replaced, but with the plastic fillings. And then I have now had implant surgery because I had the roots of my teeth cracked underneath the teeth. Like, so the roots cracked and disintegrated. And so those teeth were removed. So then on top of that, and you did discuss it a little bit, I put the question in the box, but my daughter suffers from a neurological multiple seizure disorder, and she is allergic to metals. She does not have any dental fillings, any cavitations in her mouth. So I hold a lot of guilt for the mercury that was in my system that I passed on to my
utero. Yes.
Yes. And I don't know the half-life and all of that, but how do we detoxify the dental assault?
Okay, that's brilliant. It's a great question. And Lori, my heart goes out to you. Everything that you've shared, you were, I hate to use the word victim, but you were a victim of conventional dentistry and everything they did to you, and the shame and everything else. And that's really important. And, one of the greatest things that I love to do is to restore patients like you and give you a life back. I did a mouth makeover once on the Dr. Oz show, and it was about a woman who had a story like yours. And we turned that battleship around and got her in the right direction, and just giving her that and correcting that. And I would urge you to stay on the path, because you're fixable. You are fixable. It may take more time, but you're fixable. Your body, like my body, wants to self-regulate and heal. But let's talk about your daughter and how to deal with that, and how do you detox from mercury. I'm so glad you asked that, because I didn't cover it. And it is, getting mercury out of the body is like peeling layers of an onion. Okay. You do it slow and gradual. And then there's another layer and there's another layer. I'm going to tell you a quick story. 25 years ago, I'm practicing 39 years. It'll be 40 years in September in private practice. And about 25 years ago, I never put a mercury filling in from when I came out of dental school, but I was removing them unsafely. And so I started to get brain fog and I'd forget, couldn't remember telephone numbers. And then, I'd walk in a room and forget why I walked in the room. I did forget the name of that watch pet device on the show today, but that's probably a senior moment. But the reality is one morning I woke up and I had a tremor in my hand. And I thought I had a brain tumor. I didn't once think I was mercury toxic because I was like, I don't do mercury fillings, but I didn't understand the impact of removing them unsafely. So my process of cleanup of the mercury was slow and gradual. You do not want to get an IV chelation in your arm because if you push mercury out of the body too quickly, it just redistributes. You're not able. And so there's a very dear friend, Dan Pompa, who does a Pompa program, and there's 3 parts. The first part is called prep phase, and that opens up the downstream pathways. And the second phase is body phase of starting to get toxins and metals out of tissue. And then the third is brain phase, getting past the blood-brain barrier and to remove that. So remember, there are building blocks to eliminate mercury. And my one major piece of advice is slow and steady. It may take 2 years to clean up toxicity of metals, and your daughter will be fine. I think it's important to get it out. And for her to follow the same protocols, and you yourself as well.
And additionally, you talked about the teeth and the cavitations. So are we still recommending wisdom teeth removal surgery?
That's another very good question. So, there have been anthropological studies done on the human jaw over the ages, and we find that there are deformities in the jaw that happen epigenetically from damage to the DNA in preceding generations, where the jaw is too small for the tooth to come in. So yes, do wisdom teeth still get removed? Yes. Do I remove wisdom teeth the way I was taught in dental school? No. I graft every tooth that comes out. Every tooth that comes out gets treated with PRF and a graft material so that the bone can heal. I use a laser. I stimulate the surrounding bone to heal. So the answer, again, is yes, I think many wisdom teeth come out unnecessarily. It's not a rite of passage. They need to be evaluated. But secondarily, we follow a protocol that's different than what we used to do, fortunately, to prevent the formation of cavitations in the future.